Hi everyone! In this video I'm shortly going to describe dopamine, and I'm going to focus on the psychological aspect of dopamine so that this won't be a too long video. So what is dopamine and what do I need it for? How do I get it? It sounds like a drug, right? Well, it's actually one of the most important signal substances in our brain. It's very important for the motivation, the concentration and happiness, among other things. Back in the days, you got very high dopamine levels by eating high calorie dense foods. It was so that you could have a higher chance of surviving. Today it's more of a problem actually, because we have so much calorie dense foods that make us fat. So today it's pretty much the opposite actually. We get a very high motivation for foods that are bad for us in general. Not always, but in general. So it's actually good if we find good ways to get dopamine, because dopamine is something that we need to feel alive, to feel good. You know, if you have had a good cardio workout or something, you get this really good dopamine hit among other signal substances. But there are so many unhealthy ways of spiking your dopamine today. Drugs, alcohol, bad eating, pornography, gambling, and so many other ways. The thing is that dopamine also reduces when you get the same exposure for something. So that's why drug addicts may tend to take an overdose, for example, to get that same dopamine spikes. So it's really important that you don't use unhealthy ways to get healthy levels of dopamine. You get very high levels of dopamine through very good things, like a really good cardio workout. So that's a natural and healthy way to boost your dopamine levels, which also boosts your concentration. So that's a pro tip actually. Example, if you need to be very productive for like 1 hour or 2 hours, go for a cardio workout right before you have to be that effective. That will help you to keep your concentration and effectiveness to make this thing you need to do. There's also neurological diagnosis tied to dopamine. One of them is ADHD. I actually have ADHD, so I know how dopamine affects me in everyday life. If you have ADHD, I'm actually going to make some videos about ADHD. Well, if you have ADHD, it's very important that you know how to boost dopamine levels naturally in a healthy way, because people with ADHD are very prone to get addicted to different things like gambling, drugs, many things that are unhealthy. So it's very important that you find healthy ways to boost your dopamine levels. And I'm going to make more videos about how to boost your dopamine levels in good ways. Depression is also a kind of like a sickness, which is also very affected by dopamine. Dopamine levels may be very low, which makes your motivation to do stuff very small. But that's pretty much all for this video. It's very basic. I'm going to go deeper within some of these things later on in other videos. So keep yourself subscribed to not miss any videos about health. Bye!